Hey, and welcome back to another episode of the Girl Boss Method podcast. So, for today's episode, we are going to be going through one of the educational topics for the Girl Boss Method. And this topic is basically an answer to a question that was asked in one of the girls' check-in forms. So we do check-ins every week, and the girls, they complete a form, and they also have the opportunity to ask some questions or make some suggestions on things that they want to know more about. And so this, I would say, it's one of those topics that has kind of been floating around the industry since I first started. And I literally started in this industry 20 years ago. So the question is, does lifting weights make you more bulky or masculine? And again, the reason why I say this is interesting is because it's been around, or it's been a myth for the last 20 years, or maybe, maybe not so much these days, because we know that women are definitely feeling a lot more empowered to lift weights. And I'd probably say that maybe even like the sort of soft bodybuilding side has helped with that as well. And you get like influencers and celebrities, and maybe even just the fitness industry as well, with social media and stuff. There's definitely more promotion around women lifting weights. And I think it's just brilliant, because I've always lifted weights like since I could remember. And I was actually introduced to a book by one of my sisters, and that's basically the first time I engaged in a training program, if you like, myself, to start working on my own body. And it was a really, really long time ago. I can't remember the name of the book, but it was the first time that I had followed structured programming and actually recorded things that I was lifting. And yeah, it was really good. It was a great experience, actually. And yeah, I think it helped, especially when you're starting out. You kind of like experiment a lot. You'll see things, you'll pick up, especially these days, you'll pick up things that you see on social media and kind of like build your own program. And that's not to say that's like the worst way to do things, but there are definitely better ways of doing things. So anyway, back to the topic, but lifting weights does not inherently make women bulky or masculine. In fact, resistance training is one of the most effective ways for women to tone their bodies and achieve a lean and sculpted physique. Because that's the scary thing is that you always think you're going to start lifting weights and all of a sudden you're going to get like bulky or masculine. And we're going to talk a little bit about why that's not actually possible for everyone. Okay. So if we have a look at some of the benefits first. So muscle versus fat. Okay. So lifting weights helps build muscle, which is more compact and denser than fat. This means that as you gain muscle and lose fat, you may actually become smaller and more toned. And even if the number on the scales doesn't change quite significantly, that's one way of looking at things. So when you do start, if you were to definitely look at your nutrition and dial in on that, and you start to change composition, this is what can happen. You boost your metabolism. So muscle tissue is metabolically active, meaning that it burns more calories even at rest. And by increasing your muscle mass through weight lifting, you can boost your metabolism, making it easier to maintain a healthy weight and burn fat. So lifting weights is going to help improve your body composition. We talked a little bit about that, but the way that this is going to do this is increasing that muscle mass and reducing your body fat. percentage. Again, you're going to have that defined sculpted appearance rather than a bulky one. Women typically have lower levels of testosterone compared to men. And that's why this is likely the most important one here. That, well, they're all important, but it's just to remind you that we cannot get bulky like men as easier. There are women out there that are absolutely insane machines. They've really dialed in on, you know, their nutrition, their training, genetics play a factor as well. But it's not just as easy as saying that you're going to start lifting weights and suddenly become bulky. We don't have the ability to build and bulk up from weightlifting like men do. Okay. So again, what happens, and again, we'll come back to the sort of softer bodybuilding side of things. So like the big bikini competitions and the wellness, those sort of figures, they probably highlight this a little bit more. And I'm not saying they all do, but certainly like some of the comps that I've done, but and actually even the physique that I've tended to kind of like aim for, like I've always done like lifting weights and stuff. And I know the way that my body responds when I dial in on my nutrition. I make sure I get my steps up. I'm resistance training. I'm not even doing cardio. I start to develop or highlight or show those toned muscles and become like more curvy without that extreme muscle growth that we see in men, right? Not that there's anything wrong with that. Women that are doing that, they're absolutely smashing it. And I've just seen personally that you just become curvy in the right way. So like, yes, you know, you get those nice lean toned arms, you get that booty, you get your glutes like really nice, your legs start to get a bit more toned. And yeah, I think it's brilliant. So again, back to this, losing fat and toning up, you need to maintain a calorie deficit. So you need to be consuming fewer calories than you burn. This is going to create that energy imbalance that's going to prompt your body to utilize your stored fat for fuel. However, it's crucial to strike a balance and not restrict your calories too drastically, because that's going to help, well, that's going to negatively affect your energy levels, your metabolism, and potential for preserving that lean muscle mass. So it's not all about just trying to eat as little as possible in order to get that toned. We've got to be methodical with this. And yeah, we need to be balanced as well, because it's not just, you know, training for us, focusing on our building our muscle, getting lean and toned. It doesn't have to be so all or nothing and aggressive. We are doing this as part of our lifestyle. It's a great benefit to training, to have those outcomes, to get that body that you want. And you know, but aside from that, exercise is about moving, right? We should all be more active. Unfortunately, our lifestyles these days, they are very sedentary for most people. So that's why it's so important for health reasons to resistance train and to be active. Okay. And yeah, steps is one way to do that anyway. So this brings me on to another point as well. So quite often you'll be, you know, you get people, men, women, they focus on, they're in the gym, they're absolutely nailing it in the gym, they're lifting heavy, they're doing really, really well, but all they seem to focus on is eating clean, and they're not considering that calorie intake or even their macronutrient balance. Again, that's not going to help you with trying to achieve that specific body composition goal. And look, while whole foods, minimally processed foods are generally beneficial, it's essential to be mindful of your portion sizes and overall calorie intake to support your fat loss and get your muscle growth. So again, with that sort of bulky look, you might be eating clean, you're getting bulky, you could well be eating in a calorie surplus. So when we're thinking about consuming an adequate amount of protein, that's essential for muscle repair and growth. We want to be looking at roughly 1.6 to 2.2 grams at the max per kilo of body weight. So instead of just like lifting, so in terms of when it comes to the actual training and tips that we can do, instead of just lifting extremely heavy weight with low repetition, so we're thinking about that sort of 1 to 7, we want to opt for more moderate weights with higher repetitions. So like between that sort of 8 to 15. Again, this is 8 to 12 is kind of seen as like that hypertrophy area or zone. And it's all about relative load as well. You want to make sure that you're stimulating that muscle growth through progressive overload. And again, just making sure that you focus on your things like your technique, even your mind-muscle connection can have an effect as well. Cardiovascular exercise, so like you're running, you're cycling, you're swimming, or even HIIT training can help burn those calories, reduce that body fat, and improve your overall cardiovascular health. And I'll always mention this, while fitness classes are great fun and they're motivating to exercise, and even on this program, you can do those things. They often focus on like high repetition, low weight or cardio-based exercises, and pretty much mostly focusing on burning. And like, while these exercise classes can help improve your cardiovascular fitness and your endurance, they might not provide the necessary stimulus that we are looking for to create that muscle growth or even that strength development. So again, we can get stronger at things. We can build muscular endurance. But again, when it comes to trying to build muscle tissue, like lean muscle tissue, and get stronger, again, these classes can quite often be like repetitive in the way that they are delivered, and never really truly, you might recover better from them, but they might not truly provide that adequate progressive overload that you can administer in the gym. So resistance training stimulates muscle growth, increases your metabolic rate, and enhances overall muscle tone and definition. By incorporating weightlifting exercises that target all major muscle groups, women can sculpt their bodies and achieve a balanced and feminine physique. Additionally, resistance training can help improve bone density, which is really important, joint health, functional strength, which are all important for health and longevity. And building muscle, getting bulky, getting big, if that's what you want to do, ladies, it is still feminine as fuck. We haven't sworn on this podcast yet, so or in this episode, so yeah, why not, hey? So other things that we can consider: creatine, we can supplement with this. So it's a naturally occurring compound that plays a key role in your energy production during high intensity training. So while creatine supplementation is commonly associated with muscle gain and strength improvement, it can also help enhance your performance in the gym. That supplementation of creatine may help increase your muscular endurance, improve your recovery between your workouts, and support your actual exercise performance. And there are cognitive benefits as well to having creatine. It's good stuff. It's, definitely the best supplement worth adding to your routine and your daily intake. So other points: adequate sleep is going to be crucial for your muscle recovery, your hormone regulation, metabolism, and overall health. You want to aim for your bog standard 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep. Quality sleep's really, really important. And especially if you're someone that finds that you end up going to the loo lots at nighttime, just cut water off by a certain time. Like, just don't start glugging loads of water right before bed, because then you are going to affect your sleep. So definitely think about, just think about trying to get that water intake earlier in the day. So yeah, that's going to help promote the recovery with that sleep and your performance as well. So other things that we can do is create a relaxing bedtime routine, maintain a consistent sleep schedule, and create a sleep-friendly environment to help improve your quality and the duration. So again, back to water. You want proper hydration, because that's going to be essential for supporting your muscle function, metabolism, and overall health. So you want to try and get that water in earlier in the day, especially around your workouts. Stay hydrated to optimize your performance. And lastly, stress. So your stress, that can negatively impact your hormone levels, your metabolism, and your recovery, which can hinder progress towards that lean, toned physique. So yeah, these are all things to just kind of like consider, really. And I hope that's answered the question, regarding whether or not lifting weights makes you bulky. I've added in a few other little tidbits, and quite often these are like reminders. Again, lift weights lifelong. It's good for you. It's healthy. It's going to make you feel strong, empowered. You're going to be building those muscles, which we love. And even if that's bulky muscles, like, why not? But if you are looking to try and get that lean toned physique, and that's what you're really going for, that's also okay. But it's really, really important to consider your nutrition in that aspect. And I would definitely say that nutrition is going to be like 80% of the work, 80 if not 90. Like, that's where you're really going to help stop that sort of bulky look happening. And yeah, hope that answers that. If you've just stumbled across this episode, or this podcast episode, this has been the Girl Boss Method. And you can find me on Instagram if you'd like to shoot me a DM and learn a little bit more about the method, at richubrar. So I'll spell that out for you. It's RICHUBRAR. And yeah, we will see you here next time. Thank you.